All right, so I did a call last week that was called the 2016 Desire Party, and it was for women entrepreneurs to unleash their desires in life and business for the coming year. And a question came up in the call that I thought was so good that I wanted to make a video about it because there's so many misnomers around the concept of desire. Like, so many of us don't even allow ourselves to have them, to feel them, because one, it might be like, well, what's the point? If I can't have it, why even have a desire? Or maybe it's like, well, that's like asking for too much. I can't want so many things. But that is not the case. So, what came up in the call was I was leading people through an exercise where for 1 minute they wrote down all their desires. And this is a great exercise, and I highly recommend that you do it yourself because it's a way to start opening up the desire channel and just like see what comes out and write them down for 1 minute. So, afterwards, I asked if anyone wanted to come on to share, and this woman did, and very generously sort of kind of shared her experience of like looking over her list and being like, but wait, all these desires are about me. And isn't that selfish? And I was like, oh, that is such a good question because I'm sure that is in the background of most of our minds. And really, we need to be abolishing thoughts like this because here is what I have been learning about desire as I have birthed this new body of work around becoming a pleasure CEO and delivering the course, which I am loving doing. Like, it's almost illegal, the amount of fun I've been having with this new work. So, anyway, one of the things that I've been learning about desire is that desires are actually quite sacred. They come from your soul. So it's this spark of innate intelligence that comes up and has a power that sets you on a particular course in motion towards a nutrient that you need. Now, does that sound selfish? Doesn't sound selfish to me because there's a real beauty of something rising up from my soul that sets me off in a particular direction to receive something that I need. So all that means that we need to trust our desires. Now, another thing I've learned about desires that might help you embrace them even more is that desire is not actually concerned with you achieving the object of your desire. It's really more about the setting something in motion, the spark that sends you in a particular direction, and the journey you have on that towards a particular direction. That's where the magic lies. So it's not this materialistic thing. It's sort of a sign of this is where I should be going next, and I'm going to trust that process and say yes. Now, do you see where this could be applicable in business? I'm telling you, it's got like 100% applicability, even though it sounds so out of the blue. So here's another example of how it could show up in business for you. So I led another exercise on this call where I invited people to imagine that it was a year from now and they'd gotten everything that they desired. And so this woman came on and shared afterward, again, very generously with us. And she shared that she saw herself near water and she felt warm and she was wearing less clothes. And then she felt herself in a waterfall. And then she felt like there was a client there with her. Well, that was kind of unique. And the thought occurred to her, oh my God, I want to create retreats this year where I take women to bodies of water and help them to get into their feminine. I mean, Shosayom, is that unique or what? I've never heard anything like that. And how did she get to that beautiful idea for her business? Did she make a plan or a strategy or a goal or think it through in a logical or linear way with her head? No, she did not. She tuned into her desires first. And not even just a desire around business. She tuned into her own personal desires that one might call selfish. And it took her in this direction and gave her this whole beautiful idea for her business. Now that is exquisite to me. And I just feel like, you guys, this is an important mission and movement that's happening where we as women entrepreneurs here to do big things on the planet, we need to learn how to do business in a way that is more in alignment with our inherent natural powers. As women, we do things differently than the men. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I see so many of my successful colleagues who have health issues. They're exhausted, they're on the edge of burnout and adrenal fatigue. And that's just not going to cut it. We have got to change the story. And I think it's about unleashing more of our inherent feminine powers around pleasure and desire and sensuality, empowering up our businesses from that place. So, are you with me on this mission? It feels like there's a whole thing around like pleasure power versus willpower. And it takes some doing because, we're taught to do business in a particular way. And so we almost have to like dismantle that and create a whole new operating system. So this is a movement that I'm passionate about, and I'm going to keep sharing more and more with you. And I had such a blast delivering my virtual course about being a pleasure CEO that I knew there was a next level, a next step. So now there is a 6-month program that's a very intimate group that has private coaching where we're going to really take these concepts and put them into action and kind of anchor them in onto the planet, and also, look towards creating businesses that are pleasurable and profitable and sustainable, which seems really important. So if that's anything that you feel a spark of desire around, this program isn't for everyone, but it is for certain people. So if it might be for you, then I invite you to let's have a conversation. There's an application process and you can just fill that out. I think there's some pretty juicy questions, so you'll get something out of just even that process. And then I've got some spots. I've got 10 that I've opened up over the next 2 weeks, and I'd love to find the right women who are meant for this program. I can feel them. I feel my desire on working with these particular folks, and I know that they're meant for them, and I'm holding space and sending out the call. So you can find the link around this video, and I'd love to connect with you if you feel like you're one of them. And then for everyone, let's keep tuning into desires. It's time. Pleasure CEOs across the land. The life and the planet will be different. All right, everyone, take care.